Have you talked to Katrina?
A tiny bit.
Okay, I don't know all that she didn't tell me too much. She had a question about fireworks, but okay. I think I got that one. So that's the only question we have. We're good.
Would you rather sit here, sit
Did they mix you all up?
What's that?
Did they mix you all up?
Yeah,
Y'all are welcome to move those.
That's okay. It's a nice change of perspective.
Yeah, there's like a little car base set up by it, but I'm wondering if they just read it in reverse. That's what it looks like. To be fair, the lady that sets up, she would not know anybody. So I sent a text to Katrina saying, hey, park board is next week, right? I said, and you said you want to cancel the fireworks and pay for the rodeo. And she hadn't responded yet.
Who said that?
That's what I said. I said, always, anytime,
Messing with Katrina.
always, yes. So she, and most of the time she believes it, so she'll be freaking out when she figures it out.
That's mean. That's just
Most
mean.
times she believes it.
I think she probably knows James well enough by now.
She's getting better at that.
Little beetle bug lady that needed a ride up the mountain because she worked there. She didn't even know where her car was.
Oh, no.
I mean, she thought she parked it in that snowdrift, but there was no snowdrift. It was literally,
That was how high the snow was.
yeah, so pretty. So it was like 9 days before.
Please, you're not going.
I miss it so bad. My daughter and I would get on the little ski skates and go down. Now we couldn't do it out, but that's.
Well, my son's girlfriend just came back from Red River, and she said very slushy. And in the mornings, after it froze at night, it'd be slick, you know, real
Hard.
slick and kind of dangerous. But she only fell one time, she said.
But I had skiing. I got skiers over there.
Mm-hmm.
I have some ski boots that are still in the box because I decided to get a divorce and they won't back on the house.
Women and men.
Sun Ski in Dallas, and they bought skis and poles and boots. I think the boots cost like $400 for the boots. And the skis were $300 and something dollars. The poles were
Are
$27.
they gonna do this often?
Well, she thinks so. She is, in her mind, she is. Yeah.
I don't think so. I thought she said she was missing this week.
That's why, 'cause I wasn't gonna be here last week.
Last week we had to cancel because we were going to perform. So they had to move it out and do somebody else's. I'm pretty sure she did.
You want me to go and get started?
Yeah,
You want to start?
you can take charge.
I don't know here. Okay.
Recording?
Oh.
As Park Board.
This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, Park Board, date March 18th, 2026. We have a quorum. The time is 6:05. Call to order and announce a quorum. Citizen participation and comments. We don't have anybody present. Anything emailed in or we're good? Okay. Items of community interest. The City of Haslet general election will be held Saturday, May the 2nd, 2026, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for the purpose of electing council members place 1, 3, and 5. Please visit our elections page for current information. The annual Easter egg hunt will be held on Saturday, March 28th, 2026, from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the community park. All city offices will be closed on Friday, April 3rd, 2026, in observance of the Good Friday holiday. A consent agenda.
Katrina said Sarah is supposed to be here.
Good. For A, discuss, consider, and act to approve the February 11th, 2026 meeting minutes. Can you pull those up? Does that look okay? Do we want to do the financial report and do them all together?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. February 2026 financial report. Usually we ask if there's anything that should be pointed out to us. Do you know, Vista, if there's anything we should be aware of?
Yeah, she gave me some notes. Okay, so the Nance Field project that you see right there, as well as the community park project, those are the new covered pavilion at the Gammill Park. And then on the next page, and the Christmas in the park line item down near the bottom, that one, that expense was for the Sky Pirates train. I think that's Pirates, I'm not 100%. The Taylor rental and miscellaneous, like the photo areas.
And that's it?
Make sure. Yes, that is it.
Okay. Chuck, you want to make a motion?
It's just broken. This is Cindy. I'd like to make a motion. We accept the minutes and the expense report.
Okay, motion's been made to accept the minutes as written and also the financial report as reported.
I'll second.
Anybody for a second? Oh,
Second?
all in favor? Okay, it's approved. Discuss regarding updates at city parks. We'll start with Gammill Park.
I don't have anything, but there's a whole bunch of. All right, usually I'd have a presentation, but there really isn't enough to put on slides. So the quick update is, really for Gammill Park, we're ordering a picnic table that goes underneath that pavilion. And I think in the last couple months, they lowered some of those power plug-in boxes. I don't know if they were kind of rising out of the ground. They redug. Can you turn that way down? Yeah, just the speakers out there, nobody's there. So they lowered some of those boxes. As far as for Community Park, like I said, they're continuing to water and establish those trees that were planted. That was 6 trees that were put in, so they're still monitoring those actively. And the Veterans Memorial Garden, we're still waiting on bids for that coming back. We have 1 back out of the 6 we sent out, and we're still looking for other people willing to bid on that project. So we're hoping possibly by the next meeting we can at least have, an update on the timeline of getting that put in. As far as Nance Field, at the last council meeting, they agreed to have EDC fund a concrete parking lot for that, so that'll be changing soon. And I don't think we have anything different at the Firehouse Fields. So lots of stuff going on, but nothing specific to these parks in the last, that was noteworthy.
Anybody have any questions for James? Okay. Action items of expenditures and planning of future events. The Easter egg hunt, March 28, 2026 at 4 p.m. We've already purchased the eggs, and they're here.
Yeah.
They were delivered.
Yep,
They were delivered.
in storage, all 26,000 of them.
26,000 eggs. And the gift cards, and we decided we were going to do gift cards. Okay, we have gift cards for the winners, the golden egg winners. How many plan on being there?
I'll be there.
Okay, all of us?
Do we
Okay.
have any volunteers? I know Katrina was going to reach out to some folks. Do we know anything about that?
As far as staff goes, we're anticipating having 3 people plus the bunny usually has a chaperone, so it'll be Emily and then 3 people from Public Works.
And the fire department is prepared to bring the bunny in. Okay, and we've had volunteers in the past that help set out all the eggs.
Yeah,
Okay.
if we need to, you'll have 3 people on staff to help out as well.
Okay, and then we have the DJ coming. Okay.
Question, how many do we want volunteers-wise to be there?
Yeah, as many as you can get.
I have friends.
Oh, you do?
I
I'll
have
bring them.
friends. Okay, I'll bring them.
Have them come.
Yeah, a lot of times we'll ask the volunteers to kind of line the sides after we've gotten the eggs out, just to keep them off the grounds until it's time to go. So, yeah.
Okay, and the DJ tells everybody when to go. He's the one that
Yeah, and I believe they asked him
gives them the go signal.
to show up earlier on this one. At the last meeting, they requested him to, I don't know if it's 30 minutes or now. Yeah.
Okay. Memorial Day celebration, May 25th, 2026 at 10 a.m. Is there anything that we need to purchase for that? Or I know we've got the podium, we have this sound system,
And we have the chairs, right?
Chair rentals.
chair
yes.
rentals.
We need to have that. I don't know if she's already made that. I think she has, but I think you already approved the expenditure, but I don't know if she's actually placed it, but she's aware that those have to be
And we'll
done.
have a meeting in May before that actually happens. Anything, Chuck, on that?
No, I think we got everything pretty much covered, Cindy.
Okay. Fireworks, Independence Day event, June 26th 2026, that says 2025. Need to make a change, 2026 at 6 p.m. What do you have on that?
And so Katrina said she did need a decision on the quote for the fireworks, so we can get those scheduled. And so they gave several different options because they said we wanted to kind of increase that if they could do something different. Well, basically they suggested not going past a 20-minute show. They said 20 minutes is about as much as anybody really wants to sit through fireworks. So you can just up the intensity. Katrina's suggestion was to stick with the same show we've had. It has 663-inch shells, 600 4-inch shells. So basically, 3-inch shells go approximately 300 feet in the air, and 4-inch shells go approximately 400 feet in the air. And so that's basically half. And I talked to the sales guy today, and he said, that his opinion is we should. He likes the next one up, and he said if we had to pick, they gave us different combinations of 3 and 4-inch shells. He said his suggestion would be going with more 4-inch shells. He said the higher will just help, given that's a little further away. He said, but you do want a good variation, so it kind of fills the sky better. But he said any of these shows, I mean, the first one is as good as it ever is. We did, and I didn't see a quote attached to this, we did look at drone shows, but the cost of that was significant. They rivaled this cost for very, very small amounts. So I don't know, is there one of these, the quote is in their packet, or? Okay, well, I should have scanned that on, but so basically, the base show that we already have is $23,000. Like I said, these are all 20 minutes. Then after that, the next step up is $25,500. And all these have an additional tariff fee of like $12.75, I believe. So $26,775 is the next one. And that would go from 660 shells to 720. And then from 600 4-inch shells to 690. And then there's 2 combinations, but they said to stick with the larger shells. Then the one above that is $29,400, and it would go to 780 shells and 750 of the 4-inch shells. And the step above that is $32,025, and it would be 840 3-inch shells and 810 4-inch shells. So.
No matter how big the shells, the show is still
20
just
minutes.
20 minutes.
Yeah, they
Okay.
said really it's the intensity. How much are we sending off? And that's 660 things is the base level.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him what was the average. What did he find? He said there is no average, and everybody does it differently, and the height of it makes a difference. He said for comparison, Addison, they do like 6,000 shells. He said, but those are $100,000 displays. So. Katrina's suggestion was stick with the show we've been doing. The salesman said if he was to pick, he would suggest the next one up just because it had more of the 4-inch shells. So, and I'm not sure what that total budget was or how close we were to it, but.
And pretty much all of them have a patriotic theme to them, right? Will they do anything different for the birthday?
Really, they don't have anything that they can change about them. They're letting these off in a certain sequence. We asked if they had any. They said they had like lower ground stuff, but we don't have a place to set that off. I mean, really, they didn't have anything beyond, these fireworks. Like I said, the drone show would be neat, but they would have to have a third-party company do it, which they work in conjunction with. But he said they were incredibly expensive for the amount of time that you get. And she may have actual quotes for that. We did ask for those, but I didn't see those.
And remind me, are we using a different company this time? Not the same one we had last year?
I'm not positive if we did pyro. I think we did do pyro shows. We've used 2 back and forth, and one of them has changed their name. But I do believe this is the same people who did last year's show.
Okay, good.
All right,
Well,
now,
what do
since you
y'all
don't-
think? What's your thoughts?
If we can't do anything really that special, I thought last year's was outstanding. So I think we stay with what we had last year because it was a great show. It's one of the best I've ever seen. And a lot of people told me that same thing, so.
If you move to the other one, he gave two options, but they suggest sticking in this column so you maximize those front shows.
Oh, okay.
So I have a quick question, because I mean, I was in Randy's yard last year, and it was amazing. So I know that as far as budget-wise, are we right on where we kind of wanted to spend on this?
I think in our budget, it's $25,000, and we're spending 23.5, or 23. I agree with Chuck. I think it was a fabulous show last year, and everybody raved about it. If we could even just get our DJ maybe to say something prior to it going off, and this is to, you know, a celebration for all of us, for our United States, and maybe just add that to it to make it a little bit more patriotic for this year.
Yeah, we had, like I said, we asked for a handful, because we said specifically that was the wish, is to do something special for it. They said the drone show, of course, they don't push it because they don't do that part, but that seemed like that was definitely out of the price range. He said they do, we asked about, like, they do like the streamers that you can shoot out of things, but the area, one, you'd have to have like a focal point, and it covers such a small area. I don't know if you've ever seen at concerts, they shoot confetti and that kind of stuff up. But since we don't have, and that event really spreads out, and we don't have anybody really, you know, looking at a stage or anything, it didn't seem like it would work.
Yeah, back when we were on Nance Field, we could have done it, you know, because they
Yeah.
were concentrated, and so that would have worked really good there. Okay, so somebody want to make a motion then?
This is Cindy. I'd like to make a motion that we keep what we've got and just, from our point of view, jazz it up a little bit for the birthday.
23,000.
23,000.
Okay,
It's that number underneath the tariff, I don't remember the exact one there, but
24,150.
that's why, I think that's what it was. And just make sure it includes
Okay,
the tariff.
it's 24,150. 24,150.
So that's the amount we're going to use?
I think, yeah. Is that right? This one?
All right, let me restate my motion. I'd like to use what we originally had decided on, and it's $24,100 for our fireworks celebration.
A motion's been made to spend $24,150 on the fireworks show. And we have a first. Do we have a second?
This is Kim Dillard. I second.
Hey, all those in favor? Okay, motion passes. You want to take over? Huh? Well, that's that much. Hey, Christmas in the Park, December 5th, 2026, 3 to 7. And James and I have been in contact both with Annette over there for Reese, for the buildings, for community center, for the library, and for City Hall. And I'm going to get a quote for a 30-inch wreath. And then James said we had you found 2 more wreaths that we could use that already have lights on them?
They don't have lights on them, but I think we have enough that we could string those around, yes.
Okay. And then we can probably fix them up. Anything else on Christmas in the Park? Any comments? Nope.
I
Okay.
do have a quote from Inflatable Party Magic.
Okay.
So this is for, I'm sure I've got the stuff. Okay. So the first one is for a 50-foot zip-it obstacle course, the mobile rock climbing wall, the bungee rental, and then the train, then the hourly staffing. So that one comes out to $4,718.43. And then we received another quote from them with the fan rentals, the tent, both of them, the tables, the misting system, and then the globe lights for the tent rentals. That is for the, okay, that is actually for the July event, for the July stuff. Is this one?
Okay, so for Christmas, you have the 50-foot obstacle course, the train, and the bungee. Is that what you have there?
Hang on, Jen, I got a question.
Yes, they're here. Mhm.
The same girl.
Mhm.
Whose friend is it? Is Abigail said she's
My bad.
Really?
almost 14.
Okay, read the dates wrong. Both of those quotes are for the fireworks Independence Day.
Okay. All right, so we'll put that somewhere else. Okay, so we'll move on down to yoga. Yoga going? Need anything? Hey, Tai Chi? Tai Chi? Okay. Action items. Discuss.
Can I ask a question? You mentioned something, and I don't know if we can go back to 6C, but if we don't have, you said there's a tent and a table, and the way I understand it, that is coming out of a different budget? Or was that what the mayor put on our budget for the table and the tent?
It's come out of your budget. It was a request from the mayor that we have those at all the events that are large enough to need one, that you have some medical tent.
For the fire station and the firemen,
Yeah,
right?
it was staff and fire. That was the request at least, so.
But that came out of our 4th of July budget, not the other budget that we've been told it's coming out of.
Well, I could be mistaken. As far as I know, that's where Katrina codes it
See what it
to.
was last year.
Well, if it's coming out of 4th of July budget, then we're going to be over budget. You said 25,000 was our budget? And the fireworks?
No, it's 40.
Oh, it's 40.
Yeah, because
Okay.
remember we moved Memorial Day and, not Memorial Day, Wild West Fest and 4th of July into one, and we made it a large, it's a higher budget.
Okay. So do we need to make a motion then to go order those?
Yes.
Will you repeat one more time what's on that bungee? So when you say bungee, it's the 3 bungee, 4 bungee platform thing?
Yes. And they've got pictures.
Okay. So, oh yeah, we asked for this. The 50-foot obstacle course, mobile rock climbing, I knew there was something else. Euro bungee rental. And do you know if that's the 4? It just says Euro bungee rental. It doesn't say how many pods it is. Is it the 3 or the 4 or the 5? Anybody? Would you, Mr. Person that I forgot your name, I'm so sorry. Vista? No, the guy. His name's not Vista.
I'm Will.
Will, can you pull up Inflatable Party Magic and tell me how many platforms you get on the bungee for 1,300, just because I'm curious? I don't know why it doesn't say it on here.
I think it's just 4.
Because they have a 3-1 and then they have a 4-1, and I thought they had a 5-1. And I thought we always get the 4, but I don't want to get a 3 when we're used to having 4. So I'm just curious what the 1,300.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
And Katrina did verify that it does come out of that budget, the tents.
Okay. Do we have our own misting thing? Do we have our own misting thing, or did that break? Can we buy one? The
So
water misting thing?
we have a set of hoses that have misters on it that we string up in a tent. So we have a set of that. And we also have some very small, they're 3 or 4 foot tall, that just kind of spray out. The coolant-
Yeah. The sticker, I just think that it's more of annoying than it is worth.
unless it's 110.
That's true. Will you scroll to the bottom? Bungee, whoa, sorry, go back up. Bungee jump trampoline is often called a quad jumper, which makes this one. See, 1 or 2 station. If you quad jumper, ask if the bungee trampoline has 2 or 4 stations. I thought there was a 3 one. What do I know? Okay, thank you. So it's the 4.
They're all managed?
There is a cost for.
Right,
It just says hourly staffing.
good.
I don't think on the bungee one that you can get it without it being manned.
And someone has to drive the train, right? Someone has, so.
I have so many surprises.
It just says hourly staffing times 1, which is very vague and very generic. But I'd like there to be staff at each one of the things, not just the ones they choose. Because this company is really good about showing up and then not manning their stations. So I'll make a motion to approve the $4,718 for the inflatable party magic, pending each thing is staffed. The zip line, or not the zip line, the zip it obstacle course, rock climbing, bungee rental, and obviously the trackless train.
Motion's been made to accept $4,718.43 for inflatable party magic, contingent that they do provide the workers for each activity, the obstacle course, the train, the 4-person bungee, and the mobile rock climbing. Do I have a second?
This is Chuck, I'll second.
And we have a second. All those in favor? Okay, it's unanimous. Motion passes. That's for the Independence Day celebration. Did you want to go back to anything else? Yeah, we need to do this one.
Anybody have any discussion about using an additional misting system or the one? When they do this one, do they put it up so that we don't have to mess with it?
It's hit or miss. They probably should. They don't always, but it's the same system we have.
I've just put one up with y'all before, and it's kind of a pain in the rear. So if they're putting it up, I think it's worth $100. If they're not, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? If we already have one, is it worth an extra $100?
I mean, probably. I mean, I said we usually use ours in other ways. We set up a secondary tent for the public. So I think it's worth it for that amount.
And we usually get 2 portico fans. Okay.
It's a total amount.
This one is for table and chairs times 4 and 32. Sorry, 4 tables, 32 chairs. Misting tent, globe lights. What? Sometimes rental things really annoy me. For $45, I can buy a box of lights at Costco and we can keep them in the shed and use them for more than a year. It's $275 just to rent some lights. This is really off topic, but I'm gonna just interject that we really need some storage space and some bins that have globe lights, check. Because this doesn't make any sense. Well, we don't have it now, so I'm gonna motion to approve $1,893.85 for,
Apparatus.
I wish there was a summary of this, for the tents and fans and mister and everything listed on this email from March 3rd at 2:34 p.m. Let me see that.
A motion's made that we accept and spend $1,893.85 for fan rental, tent rental, sidewalls for the tent, tables, chairs, misting system, and globe lights and fans for the July 4th Independence Day event.
This Cindy, I second.
All those in favor? It's unanimous. Motion passes. Anything else you want to go back to?
Is that all you had for that, Vista?
Okay, so we'll move on to discuss, consider, and act regarding the 2025 park survey results.
I have some general feedback about this park survey. There are 5,000 people that live in Haslet, and only 100 filled out this survey. I don't think it matters if we read what they said or not. And that's just my opinion. So we can pick out what we like from what people gave comments about and those top few that you pulled out.
One thing I did notice is that when it says, do you see a need for additional park land in Haslet? And I think another question was, would you be opposed to higher taxes to do so? And the majority said that they would like to see additional park land and they wouldn't mind increasing taxes to get that. But I don't know what additional land is out there. I don't know what that piece of land is across from the old Haslet Elementary. I think that belongs to the city. Does it, James?
So it's slightly past the elementary, but there is a small set of property. We recently removed some old concrete and slabs from it. That does belong to the city.
Is that designated parkland,
It is
or
not.
what is that designated?
No, I don't know what it's designated. I'd have to look to see if it's zoned a certain way, but it's definitely not for parkland. It's not been dedicated to parkland.
Okay, but it could if we saw something we wanted to put there, like a water feature or something like that.
I mean, I think anything could be dedicated to parkland. It is not currently, though.
Okay, is there any land dedicated to park that we're not using?
Not that I'm aware of. This section behind the fire station is parkland, and that is the only other place.
What about that land over by y'all's little shop? Who owns that big lot that we're gonna do the farmer's market thing or whatever on?
The city owns that 78 acres, I believe.
So there are 78 acres that don't have anything on it at this moment. That could potentially be some other park land of some sort.
That is land the city does own.
And then do we know about the confusion between the park survey? What is the proposed park plan?
Master plan?
Thank you. Master
Okay.
plan.
I haven't seen the master plan. An
I've just
up-to-date
heard that
master
they're
plan.
working on one.
Yeah, and I thought the previous master plan didn't get approved or something. Do you know anything about that?
So, council requested to do a master park plan. I believe Councilmember Gilbert is working on one of those with the city engineer, and I understand his intention is to bring it to park board at some point with
You said Councilmember who?
Gilbert.
Gilbert, thank you.
Yeah. That was discussed in a council meeting that he had been working on that. I haven't seen those plans yet, but I believe we would see him be able to make some comment. It would go to y'all to see as well. But there is a master plan being worked on.
So let me ask this delicately, because I'm curious to know. If a council member is working on a master plan without referencing the park survey, what's the point? Because wouldn't you want to wait until you had the recommendations and the reviews from the, like in an etiquetely proper fashion, wouldn't it make sense to take the results? This is just like a general question. Anybody can answer. I'm not
Well,
like,
I think that's what they're waiting on. They're waiting on us to give them some kind of recommendation.
Council hasn't seen
but
the
he's already
park board.
working on it because he told me he'd like to present it to us. And so I'm
But
wondering again, the role of the park board.
I think it's just an overview of what is existing in the parks right now, because it's changed from the last time they did one. And it's just going to show us available parkland, where all the fields are. It's just going to show us what we've updated in the last, 10 years, 15 years?
I thought a master park plan tells you what we're doing in the next 10.
I believe that's their intent, is they'd like to master plan the area behind the fire station so that we can make some permanent additions without it being wasted money or having to move later on. There's 2 specific items that need to be placed that are budgeted for, one being permanent bathroom facilities, and the other one is a storage for just really for fertilizer and sports-related items. So those 2 things are one of the things that we'd love to see a permanent place we can get those built. So as far as for whether it should, that planning, I mean, I believe council hasn't seen the survey yet because they're waiting on feedback from y'all. And I assume they'll include, I don't know the timeline of when they are going to want to bring that to the park board or to council. It is working on kind of a plan of what they think they'd like to see out there. So I'm not sure how the survey will play into that or not. I assume they will utilize that information. Unfortunately, we have a very small turnout. It is, very few responses given.
Right. Yeah. I noticed one thing interesting is, of all the parks, it says, are you satisfied with the current conditions of? And Gammill, they're very satisfied. Community Park, they're very satisfied. Firehouse is satisfied, but, not, it's kind of close. Nance Field, not satisfied with Nance Field, needs improvement. And then the Veterans Memorial, they're really satisfied with that, which, I don't know. I don't know if they've actually been out there or not. But that definitely can use some work.
Well, and if you read through some of the comments, I read through most of them, I don't think that some of the people have even been to some of the facilities, because they were talking about having pickleball courts, and we got those. And there are some things that we haven't.
Well, to be fair, they might want more pickleball courts.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
That's the way I interpreted it. They would like to see more of something.
And I thought it said dedicated pickleball courts. We do get a lot of comments that people want just standalone dedicated pickleball courts.
And you know how Vista put together graphs that were awesome. I mean, every which way you could put them. And so if you look at, the biggest want, I guess, was the walking trails.
Yep.
And then the indoor rec center is real high on everybody's.
There's a lot of comments on that. About having some kind of community center or indoor rec center.
Right.
Activities.
Yeah.
I think the concern that has been addressed in the past when we've asked about an indoor rec, because even this room doesn't have a whole lot of space, but this is the only indoor room that we have.
Right.
And so the other thing was, back years and years ago, that we didn't have staff. And so the theory was that even if we had a facility, who was going to run it and who was going to sit at the desk, and when was it going to be open, and we have the Meals on Wheels that comes, and then they have their yoga. I mean, they could have, the library has a really tiny room, and they have their knitters club that comes there. It'd be nice to have a room like this that people could come and play, I don't know, mahjong or whatever the coolest thing is right now, and just be able to check out the balls and check out the equipment. But we don't have, can we ask for a building?
Whatever we do, we're going to have to build it. It's going to have to be built, and on that 77 acres back here would be a good spot for it. And, add just gradually, whatever we want out there, we can look at, putting out there. But the indoor rec center is very, very high, and you can get grants for that too. I know Richland Hill's got a grant for theirs, and it's super nice. So I know there's grants out there that you can go for. Texas Parks and Wildlife has a grant that will assist you if you put something out there for the wildlife. I know Roanoke has that. I used to take my outdoor ed kids over to it and do some fishing.
And maybe we can talk to our new city administrator about helping us find those grants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do think part of the grant process is you have to have, a
Matching
park master
fund.
plan, and you have to have done these surveys. So some of these things are helpful for grants. So some of that is the reason why we do these. I do think, at least I was told, that we have a very low probability of getting an additional Parks and Wildlife grant, since we already got that for Community Park. I think that was something that they tried in the past, and then once you got one, you were very unlikely to get an additional one unless there was some major change in town size or economics.
Yeah, you never know unless you ask,
Yeah,
though.
we can
Right.
still
know?
look into it, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Now,
I
I've
agree.
written grants for my school that I used to be at, so I'm familiar with how to do that, if that's something that I can help do. But, so anyway, that's an area,
And if I'm not mistaken, the library has just about outgrown its building. If we could make and I've seen them in other cities, I've seen them advertised, or I've seen other rec centers that also include the library, and it's a combination of all the things that people in the community want to use. They have the extra meeting rooms, they would have someplace for the city to meet.
Well, and that's the
classes.
thing with a lot of these things that are listed, if we can get, at one point, the mayor had a great idea to build this, whatever thing he was building over on that land, but it wasn't exactly what was being asked for by residents. But the concept, I think, is still a good one, and the fact that that would be a central place. And I think a lot of these things can be incorporated into that. I don't know what it costs to build a new building. And contrary to popular belief and people who have left the park board because of it, it doesn't look like the baseball fields are the very number one thing. If we added everything else up, walking trails, nature areas, indoor rec, picnic tables, all those things together are way above a baseball field. And so I know that there's been a lot of focus on fix the baseball field, but those people should have filled out the survey when it went out. And so it seems to me like a walking trail and an indoor rec center lead the pack based on the 100 people that have filled it. And if those are the people that are filling it, I don't see why we couldn't add a little fish pond and some outdoor gardens, because all those things are on there that are small and maybe less important, but they could be incorporated into that master building that has some storage like we've been asking for, that has meeting rooms, that has meeting spaces. Like Cindy's saying, we didn't ask about the library, but if the library thinks they need to expand, maybe that's a good idea for that too.
That frees up that building, if they can move into a bigger one, frees up that building for something.
it'd be Senior Citizen Center. That wasn't very high on the list, but.
So I'd like to see a recommendation to council that includes adding some walking trails, not the one that's being dissected, but I guess it would incorporate, because then it would get you from the park back over until they put in the highway or bridge or whatever the thing is. But to put in an indoor recreation nature center in that area and add the small things that fit.
Well, I am in favor of baseball fields, softball fields, and soccer fields.
And those are also very high.
Because we need to cater the kids here, and get these young kids, these young families, places to play, get them involved. So I am in favor of redoing those baseball fields, the softball fields, the soccer, adding soccer fields. And that's something that could go along with the indoor rec center, like Roanoke. They've got the indoor rec center, and then they've got their baseball and softball fields. So that's my opinion on that. But so that's something that they're looking at behind in Firehouse Field, I think, and then Nance Field.
Where do kids play soccer in Haslet? Because they used to see them playing football and soccer over here, where our tennis court
I think the
is.
tennis court took up the soccer field.
So we don't have anywhere to play soccer or no soccer. Well, they used to practice soccer and football before the tennis court was there. That's where it wasn't a field. Yeah.
But that would be my recommendation. And on the walking trails, I don't think walking trails, I don't know, they want nature areas. I don't think it should be cement. It's kind of like you go out into down at Eagle Mountain Park, and it's just a walking trail. You know, you don't put down cement for it. I don't know. I think that's kind of what they're looking for. And that could either be back here at the 77 acres, or it could be over at Firehouse Field.
That's true. Or even around Firehouse, if that's, there was a master plan about 10 years ago that redid all of Firehouse, and it had softball fields and soccer fields and baseball fields. Matter of fact, I probably have it.
When I was teaching at Grapevine High School, behind the school, we put in a nature center. And have you?
Yeah, and you can walk through and it comes out and you're like all of a sudden in the city on the sidewalk. Then you go back in and you get lost again and there's like a little pond. And,
Yeah. So you could build, you know, a nature center along the trail, different biomes, you know, for the kids to look at and study. It's got a lot of possibilities. Anybody else have any ideas? Talked a lot.
On the list of 1 through 5, if you just add the soccer fields and then all of the sports fields, and right after it, got walking trails, indoor rec center, picnic shelter and tables, which we've been working on anyway, fish pond, fitness center stations, and then soccer fields, but add all athletic fields on that. And if we could just kind of concentrate on those 6, I think we'd be in good shape. And it wouldn't be hard to add, in fact, Sarah and I have looked at that because we've been looking at the playground equipment stuff, to add some of those fitness equipment stations around the walking trails. I don't know how expensive they are yet, but I don't think they'd be that difficult to put up.
So what kind of recommendation do we want to make so that they can look at it? We want to go with the top 5,
Well, I think top 6.
6.
Because
We're
that
going to talk
6th
about
one is a
walking
soccer field,
trails,
but
natural walking trails, not cemented walking trails, but natural ground.
okay, I'm gonna make a motion.
I think that we should make a motion to recommend to City Council what you said, order of preference, that we would like to see some sort of indoor facility primarily with some of these things sprinkled in, along with improvement of all the ball fields and adding soccer, et cetera. That would be that wasn't an official recommendation, but that would be my motion if I were to make one. But I found a master plan from all those years ago, and it had several new baseball fields. And then there was a section over here that they were going to put 2 tennis courts in, which could be pickleball courts, some additional parking, a pond for fishing. I think there was a soccer field over here. I don't know if anybody wants to look at that. It was kind of, I hate to think we're reinventing the wheel when someone already spent the time to do that, if y'all remember that.
Yeah, I do.
Did you ever see that?
Yes.
So. I made a half motion. Not really. I just wanted to make sure that.
So you're talking about going down this list, the top 5
6.
or 6. I like to scratch pickleball courts. We already have them. Which,
Let's see. Second or third page.
okay.
And then at the bottom, second box, walking trails, indoor rec center, picnic shelter tables, fish ponds, fitness stations, and then I would change that to athletic fields.
I don't think this is the right order. This is just a paragraph. It's not ranked. Is there one, Vista, where it's ranked in paragraph form?
Yeah, she's got several pages of them being ranked. If you look at one we were talking about, but
This is
it's
just
go
a
on the
table.
back page
That's not a ranking.
of this one, and it's got them kind of ranked.
And which one?
It's the one that's right after the,
This one.
correct.
Okay.
Pickleball court's still there. That needs to go off.
So that doesn't make any sense. Oh, yeah, it does. Walking trail, indoor
And I
rec.
think,
Okay, so this was my problem. Remember, we talked about this at the last meeting? The ranking system, and I'm going to share this story again. If I've already shared it, I'm sorry. we had some Valentine boxes that we voted on at work. Seems silly. The number 2 box actually got number 3 because it asks for 1, 2, and 3 ranking. So most people liked number 1, and that was fair. But when you asked me to choose number 2, that number 2 still got points from people who chose 3 and 4. And I don't think that's really what we're asking, is it? Is that what we're asking? Because then you can infinitely choose all of these things. So do you see what I'm saying? Like the total votes are 64, that's great. But that doesn't mean that was the most popular. It does in this situation because it has 20 votes. It's the only one that has 20. But to me, when I look at this, even though nature areas totaled 46, there were 5 choices. That means my 5th choice was nature area. So I look at this and I think that indoor rec center was more people's number 1 vote.
Agreed.
Yeah, it says the number 1 vote. It's number
No,
2.
it makes nature
17.
areas number 2, and to me it's
If you look
not.
at number 1 choice, it says it's the
Yeah.
second.
Walking trails was number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Indoor rec center number 2. Of their first.
Of their first choice.
Right, but
And then
do
baseball
we have
fields was
something that
number
lists
3.
that? Because even 1 and 2, to me, like 36. So 36 people picked walking trails. Only 16 people in their number 1 and number 2 choices picked nature areas, but it is ranked number 2 in this ranking. This list right here is listed by rank of total votes for all 5
If you look over here.
on the
If you
right-hand
look over
column.
on the left-hand side.
So what I'm saying is it's an inappropriate ranking to count people's 5th. That's my opinion. I'm asking others' opinion. Chuck has said he agrees with me that we should stick with 1 and 2.
We should have given them 5 choices then.
I think stick with 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2. We gave them too many choices.
The walking trails got 36.
Right.
Right,
Indoor rec center got
21.
21. And then baseball fields gets 19.
Yep.
Those are, to me, those are the top 3. And then we can go back and do total votes. Then we can say nature areas, pickleball courts, whatever. But I think we should pick the top 3 of either your 1 or number 2. And really, it's the same. If we only go by number 1 choice, it's still walking trails, indoor rec, and baseball fields. Those are the top 3. If we go from 1 and 2, they still remain 1, 2, and 3. So my
Also,
recommendation
we gotta
is...
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
We got to do a little common sense because they put Veterans Memorial as very few, and we know that needs a work over.
Yeah.
But not many people have been there unless you've
Right.
been to the ceremony where we cleaned it up.
Or that just
For the
wasn't their
ceremony.
concern for this question.
Right.
Of all the things in the park, it may be that we think the memorial garden is important, but
Yeah.
nobody else of the 100 other people does.
Right.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we're not going to do it.
Right.
We still think it's important enough. We've already started working on that. However, moving forward, since we asked for popular opinion, doesn't mean they haven't seen it. It just means they maybe don't care, actually. Like, we know that it needs attention.
Have they been there during the ceremony and then we had it nice looking
and it
nice?
looks good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looking nice for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Right. But I guarantee you, most of them weren't at the ceremony.
Right. So you kind of got to,
So my motion,
can't go by
if I were to
this
make a motion, which I'm not, I would motion for walking trails, improved walking trails, an indoor recreation center, and improved baseball fields, or more baseball fields.
But I would change that to athletic fields.
I
'Cause
would
think we
too.
need some
Yeah.
soccer fields.
Sure.
I agree.
And if we add all the fields together, we have 13, 20, I'm going to count pickleball courts as a field. 13, 20, 24, 29, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. So there's about 33 votes of some sort of sport activity.
Right.
So that almost is even, I mean, walking. If we add walking, it's 50.
Right.
So my motion again, if I were to make one, which I'm not just yet until y'all tell me if I'm getting this right, is for walking trails, indoor recreation center, and outdoor sports courts.
Athletic fields.
Athletic fields. There we go. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay, so I'm going to make a motion to make a recommendation to City Council for the development of a master park plan with focus on the park survey results indicating number 1, priority walking trails, number 2, indoor recreation center, number 3, outdoor athletic fields.
Okay, can we add to your walking trail, make sure it's a natural surface and not cement?
Does it say that?
I think we can do whatever we want to.
No, we don't want to do cement though, because then,
I didn't read that when they said that in there. I'd like to keep it generic, but that doesn't mean they can't change their mind or you can't add that later.
okay. Okay, so motion been made to recommend to City Council from looking at the park survey that was done in 2025. Number 1 interest is the walking trails. Number 2 is the indoor rec center. And number 3 is athletic fields, improvement or building of athletic fields,
Outdoor.
outdoor.
This is Cindy, I second.
Okay, all those in favor? At unanimous, motion passes.
And then Vista, if I can keep this booklet that you gave us, that way if we need something else that comes up, we can reference it and see park-related things.
This is good stuff.
And if
Okay.
anyone who's listening at home wants to access a book, I'm sure you can ask Vista and she can give you that as well to look at.
Hey, discuss, consider, and act on the 2025 Community Service Award. What do we have on that?
Did we have anybody that we wanted to put up
I
for?
think there was somebody.
We did, and now I've lost my paper.
I've got 2 that y'all talked about last meeting.
Thank you.
So Barbara Long and Nancy Gardner.
Oh, we've done those.
Y'all have done those.
Those are the 2 that we've done. I was like, I thought we already did Barbara.
I think you only did one for Barbara Long. Didn't think you gave one to Nance.
We did.
I thought it was just the opposite. We gave one to Nancy.
I've got the
No, we've done
minutes.
both. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure we've done both.
See if it's in here.
Let me see what I wrote on this last meeting. I just wrote community award. I think it was the kid that plays the trumpet. Because he's done that for us for several years at the memorial event. And I think that that gives to community service. We don't pay him for that. He comes and plays taps.
He does it on his
He does it on his own, and he was pretty young when he started. I mean, he was still in high school. I think he's in college by now, maybe, or a senior.
That's an excellent idea.
That's what I think that's what I was thinking when I wanted to do that. If anyone has another idea, I'm open.
Anybody have his name? Anybody have a name?
Yeah, he's on Facebook. Ooh. I had his dad's name because I was talking to his dad.
And that's who I end up texting with all the time, so.
I don't know if I can find his name. We don't have anyone on the audience listening, do we, that might know his name?
But let me text his father.
Here we go.
Make sure that that's his. I think they're both, William. I think they're both, one's a senior, one's a junior, whatever. But let me check with his dad to make sure that that's the name he goes by. And you know what? It might be really neat to have him come to the fireworks thing and have him play taps at the end of it. It's a thought. Or we could just give him the plaque when we do the Memorial Day thing. Yeah. All right, I'll contact his dad because I need to for the memorial anyway.
So I'm sorry, his name is William?
I believe so, but that could be his father's name, so. Could do both of them. Kimmell. I will text him tonight.
I know, we need his name.
I'll check with his dad.
I do have then that's what this one is. This one is how the plaque was set up.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yep, that's where the confusion was.
I'm just gonna see if I can find it real fast. You can go to the next thing and I'll look for it.
Okay, we'll move on to the next and then come back. Discuss holding a Christmas breakfast event at the fire station. Do you have anything on that, Cindy?
I think that we talked about it last time, and the fire department does a canned food drive that morning, and there's too many other things going on.
Okay, so
To do
we're not
that.
going to do that.
Right.
Okay, so we'll not do the Christmas breakfast due to other commitments from the fire department. Okay, 7D, discuss, consider, and act regarding a rodeo event with Shoot 2 Productions. I'm just going to give you my opinion. It's too short term right now for that, I think. Maybe something we consider next year.
I agree 100%. I mean, I'd like to start doing it again, but the fuse is too short, and we don't have the money this year, so.
I would love to do it maybe next year because I did like his presentation and I think that would be great, but I agree, it's too soon.
Okay. Somebody want to make a motion to move this to possible next year's event? Or do we need a motion?
Yeah, I will motion that we do not have a Shoot 2 Productions event this year, but consider it on a future year.
Hey, anybody second that?
This is Kim, I second.
Hey, all in favor? Hey, it's unanimous. Okay, so we'll look into that next year. Discuss, consider, and act on the purchase of Christmas wreaths for all city buildings. James measured the community center, and we need a 30-inch wreath. And I talked to Annette, and she wanted to know the size, so now that I have it, I can get in contact with her tomorrow and get a price, and then we can discuss it at the next meeting. 7F, discuss, consider, and act to approve the purchase of Christmas decorations. Nope, right at this point, I don't think we have any right now, unless y'all have something. Y'all have anything? Okay, so we'll discuss that next time. 7G, discuss, consider, and act to provide the Park Board Chair, Sarah Nimbu, permission to represent the Park Board at the next Library Board meeting to discuss and present a proposal for checking out sports equipment as previously approved by the Park Board.
So that was my request to put on there because I wanted permission to represent us at the library board meeting, just because the story is still, we don't have space, and I keep getting confused why we had space when we had a previous medical director, library director, and then we have a new library director and a new mayor, and all of a sudden the space disappeared. I'm just concerned about how that happens, and so I felt it wise to allow the library board to at least know that we had talked about this, but I didn't want to just go running my mouth without somebody's permission. So we had already approved the funds to pay for that equipment, so it's not even like they needed any money. It was just a little cubby to store stuff to check out. So I wanted to present the idea to the library board and see if it was something that they would consider putting on their agenda.
But isn't one, when they would be responsible for checking the equipment in and
It
out?
would be like a library book.
But still.
Yeah.
That'd be an added task for the library.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So somebody want to make a motion to allow Sarah to go to the meeting and talk to them about it?
This is Cindy. I'd like to make a motion that Sarah has the park board's
Approval.
Support.
approval to attend the library board meeting and talk to them about checking out sports equipment as previously approved by the park board.
Okay, we have a second?
This is Kim, I second.
Hey, all in favor? Okay.
Opposed?
Okay, we have all opposed, we have one opposed, 4 in favor, motion passes. Okay, 8, update from the military committee.
Cindy, should we start getting the wheels going with the VFW for next Veterans Day? And I thought last meeting we talked about having it on Veterans Day. That's during the week, right? Yeah, we got Memorial Day pretty well hemmed.
Right. I think the veterans, the VFW wanted to do it on Saturday.
Okay, good.
So many more of them will work.
I just thought, I remember hearing Katrina say we're going to do it on Veterans Day, which I think is like a Tuesday or something. And nobody'd be able to show up, except us retired people. So we need to confirm that, I guess, but it makes sense, because that's how we did it last year. So do you want me to touch base with Josh?
Yeah.
Okay. And then maybe we can start setting up our planning meetings. Sounds good.
Do we need to put it on the calendar? Because I don't see a date for that on our agenda, or what is the date? What is that Saturday date?
For Veterans Day?
Yep. It's on Wednesday, so I would imagine we'll be doing it on the 7th, Saturday before.
Do you have a time? Is there a time yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we did it, well, I wasn't there, unfortunately.
10 a.m.? Okay, Saturday, November 7th at 10 a.m. for Veterans Day
That's what I think.
event.
So,
Okay,
yeah, I will touch base with the VFW and verify.
okay. Okay, is that it? Anything else on the military committee? No? Where are we on the military Memorial Garden?
So we're currently soliciting bids. So we reached out to 6 people and we've received 1 back. The other, at least 4 of them expressed that they intend to submit the cost. And then based on what those bids look like, that if they are below that legal requirement, we will potentially present that to council for award. If all the qualified bidders are above the threshold, then it has to be redone and publicly bid. So
Okay,
it's just a bonding requirement, things like that. But we should, I'm hoping, and by the next meeting to have some closer update to when that's happening.
okay. Update from the playground committee.
So we're gonna put astroturf, it's not called that anymore, on the floor rather than doing a corn pipe. And so these are samples. I'll tell you what. Pass that way. These are just different, fiber content somebody put in. And then they'll put this is the cushioning. They're gonna take out everything that's over there, and this will go down, and then there's gonna be some sand, and then that'll be the most of it, is this green one, the grass one. this much of it is going to stick on it. And it will, you know, be right to cushion. Now these two, we can spec, this is for putting at the bottom of the slides and the swings and stuff where they get lost and lost. Foot traffic, that's going to hold up a little bit better and it won't come apart as easily as the other. This one and these two. These are just color choices. And we'll see on that. We're thinking about maybe putting that
Is this for like
on the park.
fall protection?
This is for where the slide comes out, like when they come off the
Is this like what they put
slide.
in on softball fields and baseball fields? Okay, same stuff.
Now it isn't completely, no maintenance. Couple times a year, preferably once a month. Yes, this big brush looking thing, it's kind of like on the bottom of the weed eater, and it beats it up because some of that will get kind of matted and beats it up and then brings that sand part up a little bit better so it's still stays fluffy. But you can also hire someone to do that from the company that installed it. So it wouldn't be a hardship on the park board guys and learning it. Or they can come out and they can show them how to do it.
So that's actually my question for James, since he's here today. I think you do more water than, do you do all parks, or are you more water? Can you answer this for everyone? Staffing-wise, need-based from the city, what is your preferred surface?
Well, so we've never had AstroTurf, so I can't tell you long-term if we like it or not.
Okay.
What I will tell you is we prefer a surface, either that or pour in place, as opposed to the old wood chips. That's a maintenancing nightmare, and
And the law actually doesn't let us put in wood chips anymore. It has to be ADA accessible.
You can put the other ones in still. It's actually it's reclaimed MDF is what it's made out of. So what we used to use was, it comes from all the cabinet builders and furniture builders. They take all that leftover stuff, they chip it up, they run it through a thing.
But it'd have to be compressed, right? Because you can't have anything that's not accessible by a wheelchair. The surface has to be ADA accessible, or the park cannot install it as of 2012. So you shouldn't be able to add a new, since we're putting in a new park structure, we're not allowed to put in bark.
I'm not aware of any rule that prohibits you from putting it in. It's still commonly put in place.
It can replace something, but it can't be a new. Listen, I've looked this up for a long time. So unless there's some loophole that y'all
Yeah, I
have,
mean, to the best of my knowledge, not all playgrounds have to have that level of accessibility.
it does.
So-
If it's a new playground.
So that may be the case, but on either count, we don't support or
You don't like
want
it, so
it anyway.
perfect.
So if it is a rule, I'm not aware of it, but
Okay.
we also don't want it anymore.
Excellent.
So my preference is the pour in place, because one, it's fairly no maintenance. You do have to seal it every so many years, but it has the same deficiency that this one probably has, that when kids dig their feet into it, you're going to see wear. Even the new playgrounds, you will see at the end of the slides, you slowly get that wear. And everybody has a different opinion on which one lasts longer, but they both are going to fail at those points where swings are and
The
those kind of
opinion,
things.
sorry to cut you off, the opinion that we were given was that in a poured in place, to cut it out and rematch it, where there's been fading, it's more obvious. But with something like turf, if you cut out the patch that loses it and you replace it, or you have something else installed, it blends easier. And it
and
looks less
that's-
tacky, but we didn't want to add more maintenance. Are we
Yeah, and that's-
maintaining our poured in place every year? Like, what do we do? I don't even know.
All you need to do, and we haven't, is you, from time to time, and there's not a set requirement, but every few years you seal it, and the sealing helps maintain it. The idea is you're going to get 20 years of life out of it. So as long as there's not physical damage to it, and then if there is, you do have to cut out sections, and color matching is always an issue, but
Well, and we were talking about that at the technical meeting. I wouldn't worry about matching the color. I would use an entirely different color. If you have little circles on your playground that are yellow or green or blue or red, who cares? It's a kid's playground. They're gonna have fun with it anyway.
sure. And so far, we haven't had to make
We haven't had
any-
to do that yet.
We haven't
so,
had to make
okay.
repairs.
But when you do, don't worry about matching the color.
All right.
You can't do it because.
You try to match it a little bit.
No.
Go yellow.
Bumblebee there.
As far as the AstroTurf goes, again, like I said, we haven't had any direct experience with it.
Okay.
Because we have nothing that has AstroTurf in the city. But one problem that used to be an issue was ants. Ants would get underneath AstroTurf sections and you get these little lumps and things. I assume that's still somewhat a consideration, but
I'll ask
obviously
about that.
people,
I'll ask
yeah,
about
people
that.
obviously use this. So like I said, as far
Because
as
they
Public
said
Works
that the base is made with something that rats are attracted to also. And they're like, oh, well, we haven't had
That's
any.
what I said,
What
yeah.
was it that the base is made out of?
Soy,
Soy.
yeah.
And so Cindy was
Yeah.
like, we have a lot of rats, so they're gonna eat our base or what?
Yeah, like I said, my preference is a pour-in place because it seems to be the lowest of maintenance. But again, we haven't had the experience to really fairly compare it. So I think as long as it's not a, compressed wood, we prefer one of these two options. And I don't think the maintenance of either presumably will weigh in for an issue. I think we can maintain both of those.
And also, I'll check with softball coach, so I'll check with them and see what they have to do on their turf, because they get a lot of wear on that too. But as a whole, the committee's doing really well. We're finding specific items that we want to incorporate. We've looked into 3 or 4 different companies that we're going to contact, give them our list of what we want to do with it, and they're going to come make presentations, and we should be able to bring you some information maybe the end of next month.
And the only request we would make too, as far as from the maintenance side of things, is things with mallets, like the musical things. Those are a constant. Well, they are very expensive. They get broken and taken very quickly. They're $200 or $300 for each of those little sets, and they don't last sometimes a month. So anything like that, we would recommend trying to steer away from that has things that are, removable like that.
Can we skip back to 7A? I got his name. 7A? You got it?
Okay, we're going to go back to 7A.
Sorry,
For-
B, 7B. My bad.
7B, discuss, consider, and act on the 2025 Community Service Award.
So I'd like to make a motion that we give the 2020, would it be 5 or 6, Vista? Do you know if those are yeared from the ones that you have, Vista? Like, does it have a year on it?
They do. I've got
Okay.
23 and 24.
23, 24, so this is 25 for last year. So, okay, so our 2025 Community Service Award to William Kimmel, William, last name Kimmel, Kimmel. And so I think that's my motion.
Okay, we have a motion to nominate William Kimmel
I'll
for the
second.
2025 Community Service Award, seconded by Chuck. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Motion passes. William Kimmel.
Y'all want to see the options for the wording?
Sure. I thought we were just using the standard one that we had before. That's what I thought you were saying from the,
They're very different. So these are two.
oh.
We had this quote on there last year. So those are
Okay.
two.
I'm just going to read them out loud. So it says for our 2023, that went to Barbara Long, it says, for your contribution in promoting parks and recreation and for your outstanding dedication and service to the tennis court project at Haslet Community Park. And then in 24, to Mrs. Claus, making magical lifetime memories for children and families for many years, past, present, and future. Did we even make those up, or did Katrina? I think Katrina made those up.
So I have a question on that or a discussion on that.
Yes.
Because of what he has done.
Yes, we'd
Can
like to
we-
have something in those wordings.
Yes,
So if you have
Thank
some
you.
words, we're listening.
not yet.
Chuck?
I will have them for the next meeting.
Okay,
Or if I come up with them sooner, I will,
we can email them to Katrina, right?
yeah.
And she can, because she's just going to print the plaque. And I don't know if we need to motion that whatever Chuck comes up with is great. I don't know how you can get it wrong. Do we have to know what it says? Like, I don't see how we can get this wrong.
I think it would just be up to the board.
Okay.
Why couldn't you just give him the discretion of coming up with
I will
it?
run it by you individually. How about that?
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so we don't have quorum.
And I may
Perfect.
coordinate with Cindy to come up with something. I'll send you something first, and then you can wordsmith it and do whatever you to make it run.
Okay. We move on. Okay, update regarding requests for additional park board storage.
Did she leave any notes on that item? Okay. So I will tell you, so I did bring that up to the mayor that y'all had motioned to want to look in and research for additional park or storage. He did say procedurally that needed to come from Katrina, and any kind of requests shouldn't really come from me that way. So he's aware that y'all made the motion. I don't know if Katrina, I believe she sent him the motion, but I can't guarantee. So he is aware that y'all made that motion. And if I remember that the motion was just for consideration for, you know, for more storage, is that, I mean, make sure I understood that correct. That is what y'all motion, wasn't any direct action, just, so I believe that message has been delivered there.
Oh, we talked about, you know, y'all are going to build a bigger facility up here so you can put your equipment
Correct.
in and all that.
And y'all want a very
And making it
specific.
big enough where the Christmas stuff can go in it as well.
Yeah, so basically, at the meeting that y'all talked about this, we are proposing to build a storage for all of city offices. It's a 40 by 100, you know, structure for a warehouse for all storage. And y'all said y'all wish to have a dedicated, you know, standalone structure, and that's what was relayed to him, I believe. So that would just be future planning. It was not anything that y'all were requesting in this year out of budget, right? This would be something that'd be budgeted in the future, correct?
Okay.
I mean,
Well, you know, we talked about those containers, and then you said you can't put containers
Correct.
because of our ordinance. So then it was brought up that, you know, we build on to whatever it is that y'all are building up there, big enough, making it big enough.
Yeah.
And you got
So,
plenty of land up there, you know,
correct,
for,
yes, I said I've relayed that message to him, and
Okay.
I believe Katrina forwarded the motion that y'all made, so.
okay. I guess just make him aware that we want a storage instead of having to pay $6,000 a month.
And like I said, when we determined the size of that warehouse, it did specifically take into account for what we were renting. It included the off-site storage for the library, and what they expected their future needs, as well as for y'all's. So that was all calculated in that space, but he is aware that y'all want a dedicated,
Okay.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay, 8D, review regarding the dollar voluntary contributions from monthly water bill statements that contribute to the park board revenues. Sarah, you,
Oh,
Have
no,
you
I was
comment
asking
on
for a
this?
review from the city. I was hoping y'all had the comment on this.
So what is the question on it?
So the question that I have is that according to the bylaw, not the bylaws, the ordinance, the dollar that comes on the water bill has a very specific purpose. But this is lumped into our Park Fund 4 that is used only for events. So this Park Fund 4, if you'll scroll to the next section. Okay, there's another one. There's another ordinance. Go down one more, please. Okay. All funds collected pursuant to this ordinance, which is all money that comes in here. So all the $1, doesn't matter if you give 25, we only get $1 of your dollars, or you can give 25, but the city only matches $1. The funds collected shall be put into this fund. This fund shall only be used for the purchase of park land and equipment and development of facilities improvements for park and recreation. So having an Easter egg hunt doesn't apply to that, so we're not using our money correctly. But on the other one, it says it can also be used for recreation activities. So we're only using it right now, the way I see Park Fund 4, for recreation. Because of our budget that we get, are we buying parkland? Are we buying equipment? Are we buying facilities? Are we improving the park? Because doesn't that come out of a different budget? I just need to make sure that we're using the money that people are giving on their water bill in the most appropriate manner based on what. So if I were putting my dollar in, which I've already told y'all I don't, if you put your dollar extra when you pay your water bill online, or however y'all pay it, it gets matched. I expect that dollar to only be used for developing the park. And it's not being used that way because we're using it to buy Easter eggs. And that's not cool. Now, there's more money than just Park Fund 4.
Because it's been put into the general fund.
Right.
It's not
But
being
general
set
fund
aside.
is called Fund 4. Like, Fund 4 is what I was told is this Haslet Park Fund. So what I asked for was clarification from the city. And Marcy tried to send me an email, and it made a little bit of sense, but I thought she was going to present it to all of us. I realized that neither of you are Marcy. But my question is, and maybe we just carry this to the next meeting, I just want to be assured that the money that people are paying is going to what they're saying it's going for. Otherwise, we just need to take it off the water bill if we're not going to follow the ordinance.
Okay. Yeah, I believe, yeah, I understood Marcy to have supplied an answer to that, but if it wasn't clear, if we leave it on here, then we'll try to get a clearer answer for how that's being used. I mean,
Why is it not in its own check? I mean, in its own box? It's not.
I can,
Because she's right, I mean, if you just lump it in with all the general fund, they have any number of things.
I mean, but it's lumped into the park fund, so it's used for park-related things, and I assume buying Easter eggs would be as a form of recreation. So, I feel like they're being allocated appropriately, but y'all's wishes to have it into a separate fund.
If that's what needs to be, so that we're spending it correctly.
Well, I would think based on the description, anything that was spent out of there would be an improvement or to recreation or facility,
And I'm not accusing anyone of fraud per se. I'm just trying to make sure that we understand that that money has a specific purpose. And I don't know that I knew that until I started reading where Fund 15 was going, like where it was disappearing to. And so in my search for the infamous Fund 15, I was like, oh, well, what about Fund 4? So what Marcy replied to me was, these dollars are placed in the Park Board Fund 4, specifically for use for park expenses. So it's not being placed in the wrong spot. I just know that as a park board, we might not be using it to the best of what it's expected to be used for. And so they can be used for any park board expenditures for the park and or events held in the park, such as yoga, etc. They remained in the park fund. They're matched from the general fund. So she answered the question. But my question isn't like, where's the money going? I don't think anyone's like taking the money. I see it on our budget. My question is how we're using it as a board. If anyone else reads this and thinks that we're using it appropriately, because I do not.
okay. I think based on her answer and based on how it reads, is you're allowed to use that in anything that's in support of the park. Even advertising, I think, could be considered as a, encouragement for recreation or encouragement for improvement in the park. I feel like she's saying it's fairly open-ended. If you want an amendment to that to restrict your use of it, we could, or to reword it, I think we could request an ordinance change, but I think she's saying, based on that, you can use it for basically anything in the park. I think the only thing you could do with this is reword it if you don't think it's clear enough, or if you don't want it to be used, if you want it to be used in a very, very specific way, we could do it. You could suggest a budget or an amendment to the ordinance to limit how you spend the money.
I think it's pretty
Okay,
limiting.
so what would make this correct? Would we have to put supplies, event supplies? Would that need to go on the line item for us to?
I don't want to change the ordinance. I just want to do what the ordinance says.
Oh.
Do you see what I mean? Like, I'm not asking for any changes.
Yeah.
I just wanted us to be aware, maybe as a board and as a community of people watching at home, that if you're giving your dollar, it's saying it's going to be used to purchase land, equipment, and development of facilities, but we're using it to buy Easter eggs because we're using the one word recreation here.
For park and improvements for park and recreation.
The 2003
But
ordinance
see how we're like
does-
analyzing the sentence to make it make sense? When I read it, it says very clearly, we all understand what purchase of parkland is. We all understand what purchase land equipment are, but we don't use this money to pay for the park. We were previously using Fund 15. But since it's being depleted, to me, it says go back to Fund 4 to use that to pay for your playground and your swings, because that's what that fund was for.
Fund 4 was, this was also amended back in 2003 to include those recreational activities.
Yes, so that, where's
So-
that other one? Because there's another one, because I thought there was better wording than this. This is from 1990. There was another one. Yeah, amended to read as follows. And recreational activities, there it is. I was like, I know that it said something else after. So now it reads, such funds shall be used for the purchase of park land, equipment and development of facilities, improvements for park and recreation, and recreational activities. So that money isn't only for recreational activities. I'm not saying we're using it wrong. We do have permission to use it for that. I'm just saying that as a park board, we need to be aware that that amount of money that's being matched should also be used to buy equipment and facilities and improve the park and get more parkland. Not that we can get more parkland, but that was my only point of that. Thank you. I don't know if that makes any difference, but I'd just like to see us use the money for what people think they're paying it for. I don't know, I don't donate to cancer research and then hope somebody goes and buys an ice cream.
It's valid.
You know?
It's a valid.
Okay.
Okay, future agenda items. Anybody have a,
Do we want to add Veterans Day to?
probably?
Whatever you say.
Well, I add
An
that to
actionable
future
item.
agenda items, what'd you call it?
Just an actionable item.
Actional item for Veterans Day.
Because otherwise you just say discuss.
Yeah, kind of like we do with Memorial Day and Christmas in the park and all that stuff, just as an event, listed as an event, so we can keep up with it.
Hey, anybody else have anything?
I'd like to see the storage update just get recycled again, because it doesn't seem like we have much of an update. The storage update, just carry it forward. Just an update when they update us on all the parks, just on
Okay,
the
for
storage
future
status.
agenda item, we want another update on this storage for Park Board. I don't think we have to put that on the agenda, do we? Okay. Anybody else? All right, meeting adjourned at 7:27.
30.
Oh, 7:37, sorry, 7:37.